Michelle's Life with Angelina, Episode 6. Michelle finally realizes that it is a great time to be alive and to give birth.
Just transitioning from where I was talking to you about Christmas time and just, sensing that there was something working on me. Why was I really taking notice of this woman and the pictures of her and her son? Interestingly, I come to find out later on down the line, they had an event there at her place that day, after I knew I was pregnant. And she actually shared with me the special relationship that she has with her son, such that, now that my focus of attention is on natural childbirth, she actually breastfed her son for 5 years. And she noticed as a result of breastfeeding him for that long, and that's unheard of. I mean, you hear women typically nowadays 6 months at the most.
I haven't heard of it.
Yeah. I mean,
or a year at the most.
Yeah, a year at the most. My mom breastfed us, for a year. And in the raw, natural, health community, you hear like 2 years, that kind of thing, but 5 years. That was like unheard of. So it was really interesting to hear later, having noticed those photos, because of course they were of him later on in life. He wasn't a baby, so obviously I noticed the special bond that they had. And she said, they have such a special bond that she'll know when he's going to call. She just has a real intuitive sense about almost anything, that he's going through or doing in his life, or where he is, or knowing when he's going to call. So I thought that was really fascinating to talk to her later and find that out, and that was what really caught my eye. I was talking about bringing a child in prior to 2012 and having some reservations on how that session really cleared me, I believe, of whatever was in the way there. Because of where my focus of concentration has been over the last few years.
And where's that?
Well, it's really been in more of the financial aspects of, how to protect yourself. And suffice to say that now that I know the difference, the distinct difference, my mind frame set was more aligned with sort of what we call a Patriot Way of being, where you're sort of making the system and making the government wrong, like understanding more about the system, but in more of a positioning where you're polarized with it. Where now that I've gained a greater understanding, having studied contract law, which interestingly comes around to the significance of this pregnancy and the soul of this child. So interesting that I'm sharing with you just a bit about that. But having studied contract law this year and continuing to do so, I'll be a lifetime student of it, understanding sort of the financial aspects of our reality and commerce and society. I've shifted to a mind frame set of what we call a creditor in commerce, as opposed to being what we've been trained to be, from the time we were kids, to be debtors in commerce, to work for the system and be educated by the system, to be about it. So I've really, come a long way in terms of shifting my mind frame set. And again, relevant to me talking about being afraid to bring a child into the world prior to 2012. It really is all about the fear of, shall we say, the New World Order and what's actually happening right now, and what kind of future these kids are living into. When you see, a foreclosure happening every minute in California, 1,500 a day and counting right now. Just seeing sort of the handwriting on the wall. But despite where we are in the so-called linear timeline, because the patriarchy going back to Rome, sort of changed the time clock of where we think we are in time. And if you live in the world of spirit, it's a completely different reality. So regardless of actually what's taking place right now, we can have all the fears in the world we want. It's actually the greatest time to be alive, to be a part of what's actually happening with humanity. And that 2012 timing, December 21st, 2012, where things are supposed to shift, and already we're seeing evidence of that on a spiritual level. It really is about humanity shifting from third chakra, sort of a disempowered sense of being, or shall I say more of power control. You see it on a microcosmic level in personal relationships and a macrocosmic level in our society in terms of how we're fighting one another and polarizing with one another. So really this what we're living into is about dropping that and coming into the heart, which is what Jesus Christ and all the ascended masters, no matter what your spiritual path is, came to teach us, is to be more in the heart, in the heart chakra. So interestingly, as all those old belief systems drop away and my internal polarizations drop away, because I believe that it took many, many thousands of years to get to this point that I'm at now, embracing, taking on, not only rebirthing myself, but giving birth to this beautiful being who I believe has been here before and is choosing to come into my reality and into the world to be a part of this transition, this amazing transition to come. It's exciting to think about what the future holds on a spiritual level. So for me, the gift in giving birth to this amazing being, albeit it's been a surprise, and I want to continue with the story of actually how it came about, and and what we've kiddingly called a spiritually covert operation, because I did not know about my pregnancy for many, many months. I believe that there's definitely many reasons that this is happening now and happening to me now. So going back to, well, shall I say, let's see, it was January through April that obviously I was pregnant and did not know it. And apparently, through my research, there's something called implantation bleeding that I had never heard about in sex ed growing up. Never heard about it from Planned Parenthood. Certainly never heard about it from any of my girlfriends or any women. That you can actually be bleeding at the time of your period and still be pregnant. It's like common knowledge that all of us know, oh, you missed your period, oh my God, okay, you got to check and see if you're pregnant, right? So who would have ever guessed, who would have ever dreamed, because I've never faced these kind of circumstances before in my life, knock on wood, that I would go 3 months, bleeding and not know that I was pregnant. So I missed the 4th month, and of course it was not until after that then you decide to take the test, see what's up. So I took the at-home pregnancy test, and of course, it was positive immediately. Boy, those things I wish they give you a little bit more delay. The minute you dip it, it's like, whoa, okay, yeah, right, all right, tell me just instantaneously. So
that means you weren't showing for a while.
No.
See all of the episodes of Michelle's Life with Angelina at www.lovebabygifts.com/blog. And for a limited time, claim your free book, How to Tell Stories to Children with Stories to Tell, and read baby-related articles, again at www.lovebabygifts.com/blog. See you there.